evening, everyone. Let me start by asking you, how many of you have been on a remote island at least once in your lifetime? Maybe you could put your hands up. Well, not so many. So why not let's go there. I want you to close your eyes for a few moments and imagine that you are in a remote island. It's a bright, sunny day, and you're going out on a walk with your flip-flops. A cool breeze is blowing on your face, and the air around you is filled with the aroma of delicious food, maybe seafood from a nearby food joint. And as you're walking by, all of a sudden, snap, you can open your eyes because one of your flip-flops has broken. And I think you're very uncomfortable now. Now, there are few choices. You could either struggle and walk with one flip-flop for the rest of the day, or you could go barefoot, but remember, it's hot sand. But if I were you, I would be already searching my pockets. Do I have a safety pin somewhere? Do I have even a U-clip? Or maybe go to the food joint there and ask for a toothpick. Fix the flip-flop somehow, and just keep walking. Well, it might not look so pretty, but who cares? After all, it works. This, my dear friends, is called frugal innovation. It's a clever fix in adversity. My name is Manish Sansare, and today I would be telling you about how you can convert those constraints into your superpowers by not waiting for things to change, but innovating. And I call it don't wait. And this happens every day around us. I mean, you can imagine if a button of your shirt suddenly pops out, what would you do? I would replace it with a double-sided tape. Have you ever wondered that the nachos, the chips that you eat as a snack, can also serve as a makeshift spoon? I call it edible cutlery. And did you know that those old plastic bottles lying at your home can actually can be converted into a funnel if you cut it at the right place and invert them? These are everyday hacks, and many of you know them, but each of them carry the DNA of innovation. Now, talking about innovation, it's often thought that innovation is a very orderly process. You need to have research departments. You need to have a lot of investment. You need scientists, a lot of meetings, discussions. But in reality, innovation is often unplanned. Innovation is messy sometimes, and innovation is very disorderly. Now, to give you an example of disorderliness, let me take you to, or if you have been to cities where the density of population is very high, countries like China, countries like any country in Southeast Asia, in Brazil, in India, if you step out on the streets in the evening, probably this is what you will see. Vehicles in all shapes and sizes, moving in all directions, and at the same time. Now, let's say you want to drive in this. If you apply a very predetermined, a very rigid structure of driving, I don't know if you're going to reach your destination, but there's one place you will definitely reach, and that's the hospital, because you will end up doing a lot of accidents. On the contrary, if you just sit back and observe how this traffic seamlessly flows, despite the constant disruptions, the key to this is adaptability. It's the same adaptability that you see in a jazz concert, in a jazz music performance, where musicians are constantly improvising. They're observing each other in real time and adjusting. Frugal innovation also thrives in exactly the same fluid space. And it's not something that's not known around the world. In different parts of the world, it has different names. In Brazil, it's called jeitinho. In China, it's called Jizu Zhuangzin. And in India, it's called jugaad. Different words, but the same meaning. Doing more with less. Focusing more on the needs than on the desires. And today, I would be telling you a couple of stories where people did not wait for things to change. They frugally innovated. Let me start with the first example. This comes from the city of Mumbai. Now, Mumbai is also known as the commercial capital or the financial capital of India. To give you an essence of the scale, the number of people there, the number of people that travel every day to office just by train is twice the population of New Zealand. That's the number of people that travel every day by train to office. As a result of this, they have to start their day very early in the morning, and at that point in time, their lunch boxes cannot be ready. They prefer to have homemade food. This resulted in a unique lunchbox delivery service, which is called as the Mumbai dabbawalas. Now, this is in existence for more than 100 years. They still exist now. And as you can see, it is run by people who have not even completed their basic education. You can say they are illiterate people. Every day, they pick up from your home and deliver to your office as many as 200,000 lunchboxes. 200,000 lunchboxes by illiterate people. Guess their accuracy? They make just 3.4 mistakes in a million deliveries. So precise that a global courier company came down to India to research them. There is also a paper presentation or a paper written down by Harvard University on their business model. What's so unique about them? Lack of education was their constraint. They devised a very unique color-coded sorting model combined with discipline and teamwork to make this possible. I call this precision born out of simplicity. Now, from delivering lunchboxes, let's talk about delivering rockets in space. Let's say you are a bunch of scientists sitting here, and you have a mission to design a rocket that can go and orbit Mars, but at the cost of producing a movie. Well, that's a very, very tight constraint. It's a tight budget. It's a slim budget. But if you think innovative, frugally enough, like the Indian Space Research Organization, also known as ISRO, did for their Mars orbiter mission, you will be amazed what they did. They designed a very unique, long elliptical change maneuver orbit. Well, that's a very long sentence, many words, but in reality, it is very simple. They used two principles repetitively, one after the other. And I will break it down in easier language for you. Step number one, what they did is they decided to fire the engines of the rocket only when needed. And when not needed, they switch it off. Well, that's unheard of in space travel. So to give an example, let's say the rocket is now in the Earth's gravitational force, they fire the engines. The moment the rocket leaves the Earth's gravitational force and pull, it is in space, and out of any other magnetic field, they switch off the engine. The rocket continues to go in space. It's as good as when you go downhill on a bike, you stop pedaling. This is actually the second principle they used, which is basically Newton's first law of motion that says an object continues to stay in its state of rest or of uniform motion unless it is acted upon by an external imbalance force. So in space, there's nothing acting on it. The rocket continues to go. At a predetermined distance, they fire the engines again, not to send it ahead in space, but rather to turn it back. So they change the direction to face back to the Earth, which means they are now forming an ellipse. They switch off the engine again. There is no external force field. As soon as it approaches the Earth's gravitational force, they fire the engines again. Now, to send it back into space, but with a higher velocity, so that the second ellipse is bigger than the first ellipse. And then they continue this multiple times, so that the third ellipse is bigger than the second, and so on and so forth. Finally, at a certain point, it achieves so much velocity that it gets pulled into the gravitational force of Mars. What's the result of all of this? They were able to save tremendous amount of fuel, reduce a lot of parts, and reduce the weight of the rocket. They completed this entire mission in just 74 million US dollars, which is half the budget for the movie Interstellar. I call it going from real to real. That's frugal innovation, really, really high tech. My next example is about a very unique situation which happens to us many times. What if I said that poor mobile connectivity or poor mobile signal strength can be a business model for someone? Well, that sounds crazy, but not for a company from China who saw tremendous opportunity in this constraint in the African market. What they did innovatively is they designed unique mobile handsets with minimalistic features, with a very large battery life, suitably pricing it, and it started selling like hotcakes. Now, realizing that the network is not so great, customers often have to change their SIM cards to switch to another powerful network. They actually then upgraded their mobile sets to have multiple SIM card slots, as many as 6 and 7 SIM card slots in the single phone. This made their user experience very, very comfortable. You can just switch SIM cards without even needing to change the card physically. The result of this, they got 40% market share in Africa, and they were featured in the Times Top 100 Most Influential Companies of 2024. And they have not stopped there. They are still innovating. They are now coming up with models where the users can do a phone call without a SIM card. They are launching internet-based streaming calling services. So that's frugal innovation, again, going futuristic. And talking about poor connectivity, in places where mobile connectivity is low, the moment you step out of that place, let's say this auditorium, and the moment you go out, you find something on your phone screens. The moment you come back into network coverage, you see a lot of missed calls. Now, what if I said even this could be a business model for someone? Let me take you a couple of decades back to India when mobile phones were recently launched in the country. The calling charges were exceptionally high, and it was out of range or affordability for the common man. That was their constraint. They frugally innovated a way to communicate between two people without actually doing a phone call. Let's say two people have to meet each other. There is a predetermined protocol between them. I give you one missed call, it means I'm on my way, I left my home. I give you two missed calls, I'm getting late. I give you three missed calls, plan change, I'm not coming today. I give you four missed calls, you better pick up, we need to talk. This went very viral in the country, so much that marketing campaigns, service-oriented industries embedded this into their business models. And it exists even today. You want to fix the air conditioner unit? Just give us a missed call. We call you back. In a voting campaign, you want to vote for product A, give a missed call on this number. You want to vote for product B, give a missed call on the other number. Free, simple, scalable, but frugally innovative. I hope by now you're getting a hang of what frugal innovation is capable of. And the recent megatrends of sustainability are also not left far behind. One of the important milestones of sustainability in farming is drip irrigation. Now, drip irrigation definitely saves a lot of water and is good in places where water is scarce, but it is also expensive to implement. Not anymore, because people are thinking frugally, and they have come up with unique ways to recycle, reuse old bottles, coupled with a unique mechanism for ensuring that the water droplets are trickling at a certain frequency. It's a simple regulator mechanism that's available also in hospitals when you get intravenous fluids. It's the same unit, from saving lives to saving crops. That's where frugal innovation is going. And then talking about electric cars, we see so many electric cars around us today. They are charged in charging stations, but they are also charged whenever you. It's called regenerative braking. Today, technology is moving one step further. They will continue to be charged as long as the vehicle is moving, because when it moves, there are micro movements in the car's suspension system. And that will also now recharge the battery. They call it regenerative shock absorbers. So in a nutshell, there is absolutely no end when it comes to innovation. And I think each of you sitting here have also been a frugal innovator at some point in your life. You found out a way to open the cap of a bottle without an opener. You found out a way to hide those mud stains on your white canvas shoes by rubbing a white chalk. And this one, my personal favorite, many of your charging cables could be in this condition, but you found out the perfect angle at which it still continues to charge. These are not just hacks, I think these are mindsets. And for this, you don't need a design thinking workshop. So let me come to the heart of what I wanted to say today. Constraints are not barriers, constraints are enablers. Constraints are not really barriers, they help you open up your mind. If lunchbox deliveries can be so accurate, if a rocket could reach Mars at half the cost of a movie, and if a safety pin can save a flip flop, imagine what you can do if you stop waiting for the perfect conditions and start with what you already have. As they say in innovation, think out of the box. This is a very commonly used term. I would say make your box smaller, because that's when your ideas start creating the impact you want to see. Most of the innovations, one of the most famous innovations in the world, have not been born out of abundance, but they have been born out of adversity. You don't wait to change things, or you don't wait for perfect conditions. You just innovate. Or should I say, you don't wait. Thank you very much.